question I would like to ask you is, what inspired you to not just dance for yourself as a couple who goes out to dance at a nightclub, has a nice time and dances because they enjoy the music, but what inspired you to start your own dancing school and to even start a dancing company? Can you guys tell us more about that?
To me, it was, I don't know, like, I actually never performed before. She had more experience before she started with salsa, a lot more experience performing on big stages and all that. I never performed before, and I remember when I started first with this company, dance company. I remember how I used to look up to them because they were dancing so naturally on stage and all that, and I couldn't do that. I was just like trying to learn not only dancing from there, but also wanted to become a performer. And that thing I think was my first motivation for that. Then when I learned everything, the technique and everything, I discovered that I was able to teach people, you know, for free, like not charging, just, you know. And I really loved it. And I realized that I was that I had the potential to become a good instructor, and I used to see how happy and how cool this was for everybody else who was learning, how much they were enjoying dancing and learning this. So I started to take it more serious. Then when I met Gaby, she was already an instructor, and as a couple, you know, as having her as my partner, I think I got even more motivated to teach more of this dancing. Then she brings all of the kids from Tijuana to San Diego, where I used to live, and they were like kids, like very young kids, and they gave me a lot of, you know, like happiness and motivation when every time I was teaching them something. So I started to loving this. Then it was like more serious every time it was becoming more serious. After that, with that process, I started competing with her. It was a very small competition in San Diego, I remember, and we were kind of the underdogs out there, and nobody believed, you know, like that we could win that competition because they barely know us. And we ended up winning the competition, so there we had another motivation. So then we had the motivation for competing, and not only for competing, but for become better, like a better dancer, a better performer, a better dancer, and that's how we started. We have a lot more, and I would like to have Gaby continue with that. But from there, we have been competing like for every year we're competing, and we're trying to have our students encouraging to do the same, because that not only gives you, like I told you before, you know, like it's not something, it's not something that you want to do because you want to win over somebody. It's because you want to just become better yourself. You want to become a better dancer, or I don't know, like a better whatever thing you're doing, right? So I don't know if Gaby can continue from there, from that competition.
I think that, like in my case, I never saw the difference between dancing just to go to clubs and have fun, and then go and perform, because I was a performer before I was a social dancer. But then one thing that really motivated me, and then motivated us, and we understood, we got the idea, like we understood that if you compete, then you're being judged. That way you're challenged, because then you're gonna get better and better so that you can win. And if you don't compete, then you're only as good as you think you are, because you don't have anybody judging you, telling you what you need, what you're lacking. And then there's also another thing that we learned was being humble enough to know that judges know what they're doing. So then if they tell you you need to do this, this, and this, and that, it's not that they're crazy or that they hate you. You got to take that and incorporate that into your daily training and then whatever, so that you can become better. And I guess it's a matter of like doing things right or just doing them like in a mediocre way. Like if you're already doing something, you might as well try to be the best you can be. You know, that's like, I don't know, it's just like, I think if you're already spending the time, the money, the energy, you might as well just try to become better and better. And I know it's hard, you know, because it takes a lot of your time and everything, but if you love this, then I just don't see how like just social dancing can like fulfill you, you know, or just performing. You need to keep on innovating. I don't know, you know, and sometimes it's hard, sometimes you can't, you don't do it, like for a full year, you're not at your best, but then that teaches you something too, because then you go and you don't win, and then next year you come back and then you win, because then you learn that you gotta put in the effort. So that's a thing that has motivated us, that you're always on your toes, because you're not, you know that you have, it's not just what you think or what your mom thinks you're doing well or not, you know, or your friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you have something to prove that you're doing something right.